Hey everyone! In this video we are going to see a couple of things we can do with the results of a model. For example, we can send them in an email. We can put the results into a table. We can put the results into a table from the end of the model via a step. Or we can also schedule it. We can schedule a mail sending, or we can schedule inserting the data into a table. With this concept and these abilities in SimBI, we can actually use the SimBI as ETL tool or EL tool, because we can take data from multiple sources, we can do some manipulations and transformations on the data, and at the end we can put it into another database. So we are going to focus in the table destination, database destination, but I will show you also other destinations we can send the results to. So for the database, I will have a different database, I will show you in a second, that we are going to create a new connection to that database in order to put the results in the new database. So our source database, as we already know, this is the AdventureWorks data warehouse that we used until now. And we have another database, the course timing. I call it course timing because we are going to schedule into it some processes, some flows. This is gonna be our destination. So first, let's create a new connection to the database. I remind you that we are going to do it in the scan. We'll click on the plus and let's give it the name of course timing, like the name of the database. And I will put here the server name. The database name is going to be course timing, as we already saw. The username and the password. And let's edit. Alright, perfect. We have the new connection to our new database for the destination. Alright, so now we will go to the model and let's search for our models. So it's course, and alright, here are our models. And you can see that near to each model you have timing report. We will click on that and then add new timing. So this will add us a new schedule of our model. So let's call it course goals schedule. We can add a description if we want, and our base model is course goal. This is what we already chose. And here we can choose one of couple of formats. I want to show you first the flow to a database. So I will scroll down and we can see that we have a database format. Alright, the DB table. We will choose this one. Alright, and here we can use also these two options. For now I want to uncheck both. The next tab is timing. So first you can see that we have here the options of what we want to do with our results. So we can send them by email, we can upload them to FTP, we can download a file, we can save them to database, and we can upload them to Google Sheets. So we will start with a save to database. And here we have to choose our connection for the destination. So we just created the course timing. This will be our connection. So now we have three options. We can create a table. This will create a new table with the name of the model. If we want to use an existing table, we can just write here the name of the existing table by unchecking the create table in order to see that option. The second option we have is drop and create table. This will first drop the table and then create the table. In comparison to the first one will just append the data into the table. So it will do just insert. The second one will drop the table first before it will create it and insert the data. The third option is delete data before loading. So we can decide to drop the table and recreate it, but we also can decide to just delete the data before inserting, so it will not have duplicate rows, but it also will not drop the table. Here we can see the schedule options. I will choose every few minutes, and we can choose a number. I will take the minimum, which is 5. We can also set from and to hours. I will leave it empty now. Next tab is order columns. We can decide to reorder it and reorganize it in the different way. After it we have inputs, but it's not relevant for now, so I will submit. Here you can see we have our timing, our flow, and we have a couple of options. We can delete it, we can copy it, we can edit it, we can execute it manually, we can create a link that will activate it and send that link to someone, and we have here the log of the runs of this timing. So till now there were no runs. So let's execute it manually. Perfect. Now let's look on the log, so you can see that we have a start time. It still didn't ended, so we don't have end time. If we'll click again, alright, we have now the ending time, and if we would have errors, so we would see them here. Perfect, so this means we can check now our destination database. I will refresh it and you can see we have now a new table with the name of the model, and let's look on the data. And we can see we have 24 rows. This is our goals table inside our destination database. So as you remember, I told you that we chose the option of create table, and this is by default appending the rows. So let's try to execute it manually again, and you will see that we will have here double the amount of rows because it will just insert. So let's execute it and let's look on the log. So we have here a starting time, but it is still running. Let's quit and re-enter again. So perfect, we have ending time, there are no errors. So now we are expecting to see twice the amount of rows, 48 rows, and this is it. Perfect. So this is the option of the create table, which by default just appending rows, which means just inserting. Let's try now the other options. So I will edit the timing, the process, and I will do now drop and create table. And let's run that. Alright, so we are expecting to see now just 24 rows, because before inserting it will drop and recreate the table. So let's look on the log. You can see that this is also a new log because it's after editing the timing, and we have start time and end time. So let's go to the table, let's refresh it. So this is a new table and we can see that we have just 24 rows. Perfect. Let's look on the other option. I will edit it and now I will go to the timing and I will keep the create table, but I will check the delete data before loading. So also in that option we will expect to see just 24 rows. I will run it. Let's check the log. Alright, so again new log because it's after editing. So we have still just start time. And alright, now we have also the ending time. Let's go back to the database and check the table. Alright, so we can see that we have still 24 rows. So let's try the last option now, and we will change the name of the table to course goals 1. Why do I want to do that? In order to show you that we can also insert the data to table with a name which is not exactly like the model. So course goals 1, let's save that, let's execute. Perfect, so we renamed the table. Let's see, we still have here the data as we already know, and let's go back to the timing process and let's edit it. Alright, so in the timing tab we will uncheck the delete data before loading and uncheck the create table. So now I will insert here, I will write here the table that we want. This is course goals 1. I will copy it. I will paste it here. And I didn't check the delete data, so it will just append. So we expect to see 48 rows. So let's run it. Let's look on the log. Let's check again. Perfect. So let's go back to the database. I will refresh it. And as you can see, we don't have new table with the model name because now we have just the course goals 1 table. And if I will refresh the data here, I expect to see 48 rows. Let's refresh. Perfect. 48 rows. So this is the option of inserting the data to a table that is already existing with another name which is not the same as the model name. Perfect. Alright, the next thing I want to show you is how we can handle with results and send them to different destinations, just like we did in the timing, but now not as a scheduling, as a new step in the model. So for this, I will delete for a second our timing, and instead of that I will create in the same model, let's check it, course model, I will click edit, and we will add a step of write table. Let's call it table plus, and here you can see that we have again some options of what is the destination we want. We can send an email, we can upload to FTP, we can download a file, we can save in DB, and we can upload to Google Sheet. So let's begin with the save in DB, as we already know. So the options are the same here. We will choose our connection, and here we have the 3 options we already know. And we can also reorder the columns. So let's change for now the order. I will update and save. So now when I will prepare and preview, this will run the model and will create a new table with the model name. I remind you that now we have the table goal 1. So this will create a table with the same name of the model, just goals without the 1 we added. So let's go to the DB and check that. Let's refresh that. Alright, so here it is, the course goals with 24 rows as we already know. Perfect. So this is for the table destination, which is inside the step without the scheduling thing. So let's try now another destination. Let's check the email option. So first I have to write here an email address. I can also choose an email from the user list, but I won't do that now. And here I can write a text. So let's write, here are the results of the model goals. And I can choose the format. I will take a PDF, and if I want I can hide the headers or reordering the columns. I want to do that now. Perfect. So let's save it and prepare and preview. This will run the model and will send the mail. So this is the preview, but let's check now the email. Alright, so we got an email. You can see that we have the text. Here are the results of the model goals, and we have the attachment in PDF, and actually we can see that the columns was reordered like we did before the first table. I forgot to check that when we did the table, and in the table it didn't apply. We had to save it again, so we can see now after saving again that it was applied. So this is for the email sending. So as we saw, we have some more options, but for now it's enough for us. So before I finish, I will just delete this step, the table step. I want to remain with a clean model. For now we don't want the destination. I will click the yes, and I will save it. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks and see you in the next videos.